Hi everyone, Kelsey and
hi everyone, and Pat.
We're here with new fabric video number 100.
Woohoo!
We are so excited.
I can't believe it, Kelsey. You made it to 100.
100 plus new fabric collections this year, and thank you so much for watching along. We've planned a very special new fabric video 100 as we take a look at the Utopia Fabric collection from Timeless Treasures. We're going to take a look at Rose Lemonade from Robert Kaufman, and we have a great project plus kits. And we're also going to take a look at the new reading collection we got in, and Gabriella is going to show us just how easy it is to make this reading pillow with a pocket in the front. So very exciting video planned. We have a special coupon code. We're doing a giveaway at the end. We tried to film this via Facebook Live, but we had technical difficulties. So we're here re-recording, and it's going to meet our technical standards, and we're so excited.
Yeah, we're doing it again, and it's going to be right.
Yes. So let's get it going.
Yeah, let's start.
Utopia. This is brand new from one of our favorite fabric designers, Changa Wong from Timeless Treasures, and she's done it again with this beautiful collection. As you can see, this quilt is absolutely stunning. This is a pattern design from Sweet Tea Time Girls. The pattern is going to be in the kit. And it's a really easy quilt to put together. So as soon as we're done with the close-up shot here, I'm going to point out a few things and make this quilt attainable to beginner sewers, to all sewers, right?
Right, very important, because so many times, how many of us that aren't really quilters, we look at a quilt and it looks hard.
Right.
Or you kind of think, oh no, I don't think I can do that. But when you break it apart, you simplify it and make it into 3 steps. And anything that you put a panel in the center, you're using up so much square footage on the quilt already in one piece.
Right.
How easy is that?
Yeah, right. So the main piece here, this gorgeous tree, is one panel. So this is a great pattern if you have panels at home that you don't know what to do with. And so anyway, we're talking about Utopia. So I'm going to break it down just like Mom said here and make this quilt, I don't know, not so scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
go ahead and start.
In the kit,
I have to tell you what I was thinking though. I was thinking if we had sewn this together, you could have done the one side and I could have done the other, and we'd put it together and we'd have our quilt done.
Well, that's basically what Gabriella and I did. We cut,
oh, there you go.
Yeah, we cut all the pattern pieces, and then we team sewed to get this quilt top done in about 3 hours.
Power sewing.
Yeah. So anyway, right here we have the main print, and then we pre-cut in the kits the 4.5-inch squares for you. So those are going to come pre-cut. And once you've pre-cut all the rest of the pieces according to the pattern, which is not hard, you're going to start with this black strip right here. And you're going to sew that onto this square, but first I have to say you're going to sew on your 1-inch strips here to the square. And so you have a square with a frame. Sew the black piece on, sew this black piece onto this side, and then you're going to sew this square onto this and the black piece onto this side. So sew on and so forth until you have one long strip for the left side of your quilt. Okay, and then you're going to do the same exact thing all over again, but on the right side of your quilt, you're going to flip it so that the squares are down here and the long strip is up here. And then when you get to the top of your quilt, you're going to sew this purple square to this strip of fabric and this square to this strip of fabric, and then you're going to sew this long, gorgeous floral to that unit. And then you're going to do the same exact thing on the bottom, but once again it's going to be flipped so that your squares are over there and the long strip of beautiful floral is over here. And there are diagrams in the pattern that show you how and when to sew on those black strips of sashing. So it's really quite an easy quilt. Like I said, Gabriella and I made it on Monday. It took us 3 hours, 10:30 to 1:30, and we were done. So let's take a look at the kit that we have put together for you. In the kit is going to be the pattern from the Sweet Tea Girls, and she's got different pictures of, just to give you inspiration of other quilts. We've also included what your quilt is going to look like, so you have something to reference when you're looking at the pattern compared to what you're making. We've put some notes in the kit that are very helpful. One of the main ones being everything that is in this kit is for the quilt top. So you're going to need to purchase the backing and the batting and the binding separately. It's 2.75 yards of 44-inch wide fabric for the backing, by the way. So here are those perfectly cut 4.5-inch squares. And here are the long strips for your quilt. And Kathy wanted us to tell you that the print number 2 is the big floral print. It just needs the length trimmed. She already cut the width of the strips for you.
Oh, how nice.
I know.
It's almost going straight on the sewing machine.
Yeah.
And it's accurate. Because Kathy's a great cutter.
It is. She's our kit cutter, does a fabulous job. So a lot of the cutting's already done for you, so you can get to your sewing machine faster. So the small metallic paint splatters in purple, this is going to be print number 3 in your quilt. And this is what's going to frame your 4.5-inch blocks. We've included a cut of black for you. That's going to be your background fabric, aka your sashing. And then, of course, the big, beautiful Utopia tree. Alrighty, I wanted to point out one more thing on the quilt, and then we're going to take a look at the fabric. If you see, when I wiggle this quilt, you see the twinkling. I put Preciosa rhinestones on there. So if you've got rhinestones at home, I used a size 20 crystal AB, and I just added about 72 of them, and it kind of embellishes the quilt and brings that metallic look to life. So that's a fun idea. Alrighty.
And I would say that normally when I make something and it comes together really well, and it's easy to do, I normally go ahead and make a second one.
Yes.
And you could make it out of another fabric, but I just think, well, I've made one. It was fun. It was easy. For you, you did half and half. So, but I would go ahead and make another one. Yeah. Why not? You know all the steps.
Right. While it's still fresh in your head.
Yes.
So new fabric, this is Utopia. These are the leaves. They're featured in the quilt, and they have a nice gold metallic foil on them. Looks like it's brushed on. This is one of my favorites. It's the large floral print. This is featured in the side borders of the quilt. Gold metallic is going to be seen throughout.
You know what's nice about these two is they're not directional.
Oh, yes.
Those of you who understand what directional is, it means like if it's, well, actually Gabriella's going to talk about that with the book fabric.
Yeah.
If you've got fabric that's going in one direction, you got to make sure that you fussy cut it right, you know, it all falls into place. These are non-directional.
What did we say in our live video? That these are universal colors. So if you're thinking about future gifts and for yourself, almost everyone loves purple and blue.
And how do we know that? Because Kelsey and I do the ordering in here, and we have a lot of fun together doing that, mother and daughter. And these colors, especially the ones, Timeless Treasures and this designer, they really nail and get it right, the colorway, and they appeal to most everyone.
That's right. And some of these, so this is all part of Utopia, but this one right here, this is a classic Chongo Wong print. She does this in different shades, and it's just, it never goes out of style. It's beautiful.
And it's well, it has a little bit of direction, but you could run it in any direction, that one.
And this shimmer, classic.
This is a great blender.
Yes.
Very, very great.
And then this, as we know, we love border prints because you can subcut the border and sew it on other things. Yeah, like aprons.
Aprons, table runners. You can use it on the edge
of a tea towel.
Of a tea towel. No, I was going to say it's by the edge on the quilt as a border on a quilt. Right. Lots of different uses, and it's in 2 different widths on there.
So that's Utopia. We have the yardage available, and we also have some kits available for the quilt behind me. If you want to help me move these, we'll move on to
I'm
Rose Lemonade, because we've got 2 more projects to show yet.
I'm letting Kelsey do all the work.
Remember that the coupon code is video100. You type that in to sewing.net discount field. You're going to get 20% off everything I'm showing today in new fabric video number 100. So next, I am really excited to show you and give a few demonstrations on this lemon table runner. So real quick, who remembers Cheery Up Table Runner?
I do.
I do too. We made it together. So Cheery Up was something we did a few months back. We got the fabric from Robert Kaufman and Wishwell Design House. They're under the Kaufman brand. And we just loved this. Everyone loved it. So thank you. And so when we saw our Robert Kaufman sales rep, she showed us Wishwell's latest collection, which is Rose Lemonade. And we looked at each other and we said, we have to take the cherry table runner idea and do it with the lemons.
Because why not? You can take that idea and you can use it seasonally. You can use it in the fall and have pumpkins. You could do Christmas and do Christmas balls or Christmas trees. It's just a great basic base.
Right. So new season. We're past Christmas now. We're thinking spring and summer and beautiful, bright ideas. So this is the Rose Lemonade Runner. And we are going to do a demonstration. I'm going to show you just how easy this is to put together as well. And I'm then going to do a demonstration on how to applique with heat and bond. So let's first go ahead and get our base started. So as you can see here, this table runner is 5 squares wide by 16 squares long. So we've made kits for you and we include the fabric for you to cut your 3.5-inch squares. And so I'm just going to go ahead and lay out these squares so that they're 5 wide. And let's see, what's the next row here? The next row is this one.
And the beautiful brie with metallic.
Yes, this collection features metallic as well. And it just pops off. The colors are so bright. So I'm only going to do 2 rows here, but in reality, on Monday, we did 16 rows. Oop. Our demo has to be perfect. Okay, so we are going to go 16 rows that way. And then once it's all laid out to your liking and you don't see any boo-boos like the one I just did there, you start sewing the blocks together using a 1/4-inch seam allowance. So sew your rows together, and when you have them all sewn together, you're gonna sew this seam together, and then the next seam, and the next seam, and you're just going to create the base of your table runner. All right, so pretty simple. Any skill level can do that. And once again, I did this project with Gabriella. We got it done in the same day as the quilts, so it is very attainable. You can definitely finish it. All right, so now we're going to talk about the fun part of this, which is the applique. And I want to quick show you the kit. So in the kit, if you decide to purchase it, I hope you do, you're going to receive a picture of what your project is going to look like. You're going to receive a close-up of the lemon wedge so that you can see how to lay out your pieces. The pattern is actually going to be that of the Cheery Up because that's the pattern that we use. So if you need step-by-step instructions, I'm basically showing you visually, but if you would like the step-by-step instructions, we've included them here for you. Also, because they did not provide us with a lemon, we went on Google and Googled free clip art lemon wedge. We found an image of this, and then Gabriella so kindly made us a pattern to trace and cut and sew. So you don't have to worry, you're gonna get all the pieces to make 4 of your very own lemon slices, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate how you build this right here. I'm gonna do 1 step. Any questions so far? Are we good?
No,
what do you think?
Following right along.
You're following right along.
What an excellent job you're doing.
Oh my goodness, thank you, Mom. All right, so what do I have here? I have Heat and Bond Light. This is not included in the kit, so you should have 2 yards of it on hand. It's nice to have on hand anyway. Heat and Bond Light is special because you can sew through it. Heat and Bond Light is a 2-sided fusible glue.
Well, it's a paperback fusible glue. So when you look at Heat and Bond, the Heat and Bond has been around for a long, long time. The Ultra Hold, which is the red one that you can't really want to sew through.
Right.
So we're using the purple one. I say purple because the end of the bolt is purple.
Yeah.
It's the light one so that you can sew through it because you sewed around your appliques. We zigzagged. And it doesn't gum up your needle. You're not going to have any issues at all. So what it is paperback glue. And if you were to actually pick at one corner of it, you would see that the film of glue, you can actually peel off. So when you look at it or you feel it, one side is paper, and that's the side that you traced and drew on. The other side is bumpy and it's shiny. That's your glue. So it comes with directions on how long to press it for, and it's important that you follow the directions and not press it too long and not use steam and just a medium heat because you can, with Heat and Bond, with some of these products, if you press it for too long, it can actually affect it, and it won't. If you find that you're pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, it's not sticking, you've overpressed it. Okay. So follow the directions. It's only a few seconds, and no steam.
Easy peasy.
It's easy. Yeah.
So step 1 would be to find the bottommost piece of your lemon wedge, and these are in order of how you're going to do this process. So all you do is put your Heat and Bond over the pattern piece and you trace it. So I've already done that for time's sake. I just used a pencil. And now all I'm going to do is find the wrong side of my fabric, and I'm going to iron this down on my little handy dandy ironing board here. This is a quilter's cut and press, and if you are tight on space, as we always are here, the smaller the better. So this is great. I'm going to go ahead and lay it down on the wrong side. I've got my...
So while you're pressing, go ahead, you're going to press it glue side down.
Oh yes, glue side down to the wrong side of the material.
For about 2 or 3 seconds. You don't need to press it for long. And this little handy board here, you press on one side, and if you need to cut, you can flip it over and you can cut on the other side. And it comes in different sizes. It's handy to have next to your sewing machine or your serger or whatever. Here she is cutting.
Yeah, so while you're talking, I'm going to go ahead and cut. No. We have a lot to show. But I wanted this to be educational, and I wanted all of these projects to be something that everybody feels like they could make. So all I'm doing right now is cutting on the line that I traced.
And you know what I was thinking, Kelsey? I'm going to interrupt you here for 1 second, but looking again at the Timeless Treasure collection here, the floral fabric would be beautiful. This big print here, it would be beautiful to put some Heat and Bond on the back of that.
Oh.
And cut out, I mean, the flowers just jump off this fabric. Cut out flowers and maybe fuse them on over the black.
So it's more artsy.
It's more artsy.
It's coloring out of the line.
Yes. It's coloring out of the lines.
I could see that.
Actually, you know, I always say everything can be fixed. So if you're a beginner sewer, you could make a mistake. If you're an advanced sewer, you could make a mistake. If you make a little mistake somewhere here and you think, oh my God, I went off, I didn't sew it straight, go ahead and Heat and Bond a couple of flowers over it and it'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
And it'll be something that normally you wouldn't have done, but now you're correcting a mistake and you're adding another dimension to it.
So yeah, so now at this point, you could do one of 2 things. You can cut the white out, the white part of the lemon, and iron it on separately of your table runner. Or you could go ahead and put the bottommost layer right on your table runner and press lightly. And before you do that, remember this side is paper backed. So you have to go ahead and peel off the paper And then if you're going right on the runner, that's when you peel off the paper. If you're going to build this lemon separate of the runner, you need to leave that paper on, right? Because it's still going to be on your ironing board and you don't want glue. So it's up to you if you want to build it and then last step, take it off and put it down on your table runner, or do all the layers on the table runner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
And the other thing that I use a lot of heat and bond. Over the years, I've been a big heat and bond fan. Sometimes you'll find that when you fuse a lighter colored fabric on top of maybe a print, the print that you're fusing it on might shadow through a little bit. You need to think about that a little bit, because there is a solution to that. You could actually fuse this piece onto a white piece of fabric.
Yes.
Or, you know, a darker piece depending on what color your project is.
Right.
And so now you've got two pieces fused together, and now you fuse this onto your project. There's not going to be any shadowing coming through. So it's something to keep in mind.
Right. And
that's very doable.
As with the cherries, remember, nature isn't perfect. I remember we said that with the cherries. So this is not a project where you would stress if every lemon looks the same or not, because in reality, every lemon is not the same. I did want to point out that layering the layers a little bit differently, so the bottommost one can poke through, gives it that three-dimensional effect. And I really think that's a very important part of this lemon wedge that Gabriella and I created, and I hope that you enjoy it. Let me just go ahead and show you. We've put together a really nice kit with the patterns, and actually the backing is included. Look at how gorgeous the lemonade roses are. So we've chosen that for the back side, and you're going to receive enough fabric in the kit to make one table runner. If you would like to make placematch to match this, please do buy more fabric, because you're getting enough in the kit to make one table runner. This all goes in the kit.
And don't forget, once you've made a table runner like this, you can create it for any season. It's very, very doable.
Do we want to show the batting that we used? I know when we do demonstrations and how-tos like this, it's right there on the cart. We like to make sure that you understand everything that we've used, and in this particular project we use the Quilter's Dream cotton batting, and it's runner batting. Oh, there's the camera. So notice I really like using this batting because there's not much waste. It's, if you're making a table runner, it's a great weight for the project, and there's not much waste. Why do you like using it?
Because I save on time. I sometimes use up, you know, I'll have larger pieces of batting, and now I have to find the space to lay it out and cut out the size that I want. I have to measure, and then next thing you know, I'm spending 20 minutes trying to cut it, whereas this, I just roll it out. I actually also use this for placemats, and I also am using it now for in my embroidery hoop for quilt blocks.
Cool.
So this is 18 inches wide. So I just cut it in half. I cut my blocks 9 by 9 according to, and I throw it in on top of my stabilizer, my fabric on top, sandwich it in there, and I do my quilt blocks. So it works really well.
Nice and soft.
Another thing that I wanted to point out here is that this is the Select. We normally carry it in the Request and the Select, and if you're a Quilter's Dream cotton batting lover, that was a mouthful, because we do carry it in twin size and all the different sizes of for quilts. The Select is a little bit heavier. It has just a little bit more body to it. So either way, either weight works, and sometimes you can't even tell the difference. But but this is.
And by the way, runner batting is 18 inches wide, if you're wondering. The last thing I want to show you that we talked about in the live is the Serpentine Stitch. We here at the Sewing Studio are really big fans of the Serpentine Stitch for binding your projects. Why? I like to cut my binding 2.5 inches wide. I like to sew it on the back side, and I like to turn it over to the front side. And when you use the Serpentine Stitch, you're guaranteed to catch your binding. It's also a very whimsical stitch, but it could also be a stitch used for a Halloween quilt, or, you know, so it's a very versatile stitch. And I find that it's a no fuss stitch. I also find it's on every machine I've ever owned. It's on the Baby Locks, it's on the Brothers.
It's in the quilting
I quilted this whole thing with the Janome, did a great job. The stitch is right on the home screen of the machine I used. So if you haven't tried that stitch yet, I would encourage you to try it.
And then I'm going to say one more thing about that.
Yeah.
Because being that we have this wonderful machine department and lots of wonderful customers that are coming in there every day, I hear all the time how I have a machine that has all these decorative stitches and I never use them, and I always think that that's a shame.
Yes.
So next time if you're going to do something like this, use your decorative stitching.
Oh yes.
So for stitching in the ditch,
yes.
I like to use a blanket stitch. You can use a candle wicking stitch. I mean, think about that, maybe a feather stitch, and you add another dimension to your quilt, which I love, because
yes.
the serpentine looks beautiful.
Thank you for bringing that up, because speaking of quilting, once you've got your top done, your batting there, your backing laid out, I went ahead and just stitched in the ditch. And stitching in the ditch literally means choosing a straight stitch on your machine. I attached my walking foot and I tried to stitch right in that ditch. The ditch is basically the seam where the two pieces of fabric meet.
Yeah, and really you want to do that. For those of you who are beginners and are listening to us, it's nice to stitch it all together.
Yeah.
Because you could, if you go to wash it or whatever, you've got your front stitched to your batting.
And by the way, we did stitch down all the pieces of the applique with a tiny little zigzag stitch. And once again, there's no rules in this. You can choose how you stitch down these pieces. And as I was speaking with my coworker Shirley, she's a rather experienced quilter.
Yeah.
Probably if she made this project, she said she would have free motion quilted, which means dropping the feed dogs on your machine and kind of moving your project freely to go ahead and stitch all 3 layers together. So there are no rules. There are more than one way to finish this, and be sure you choose the way that you would, enjoy the most.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
So kits are available for this. Once again, Gabriella and I designed the lemon and used the Cheery Up pattern.
I see a watermelon on there too.
Ooh.
I can just keep going and going. Okay,
so
what's
I'm
next?
going to lay out, because we still have one more project, so I'm going to go ahead and lay out
the collection.
Yeah, it's called Rose Lemonade. This is just white, so let's put that away, please. But once again, gold metallic is seen throughout. So when I first saw this collection, I said, oh my gosh, it's really a nice hostess gift. I can see napkins, like you said, placemats.
And it's all non-directional, which is nice.
Super bright and pretty fabric. Love these bubbles. We use this one for the inside of the lemon, but that's very usable for like a lime or a watermelon.
So this is what we call blenders, right, Kelsey?
Right.
For those of you, again, who are beginners.
Right.
And blenders are very important in a collection, because a lot of times what you'll do when you come into a fabric store, you'll say, oh, I love the lemon, and you buy the lemon.
Yeah.
You go, I gotta have that lemon. But it's nice to have a blender.
Yeah.
When you go to piece it together, something that's been created to coordinate with that.
So you don't have to go on a hunt for something.
Right, right.
So kits are available for that. Once again, the backing is included. It's the beautiful roses, and the binding's included in this one. So you just need your heat and bond, and you need batting. And now I'm going to switch spots with Gabriella, who's behind the cameras. She is going to explain to us just how easy it is to make this amazing reading pillow, and she's going to show us the new fabric for it. So let's go ahead and switch spots.
And I am going to move down here. Something fell under there.
That's okay, we can still get behind the table. Hi everyone, I'm Gabriella, and I am here to show you not only the Bookworm collection that we just got in, so cute, I love books, I love this collection, but this pillow is part of the collection. Everything you need to make this pillow cover, minus the form, is in this panel that I'm going to show you. So we're going to start with that, and I'm going to show you how to make it. It's very easy, very beginner friendly. So let's just do it.
And I think it would be a super project if you're granddaughter or you gave your daughter a sewing machine for Christmas.
Yes.
This is all straight lines, super easy to do. You can sit and make it.
Yes, I totally agree.
I would probably put a bar of chocolate and my remote control in here too.
Hey, and no one's telling you that you can't do that.
It's a big pocket.
It's got a pocket for the book that you're reading, or chocolate, or your remote control, whatever you want to put in it.
Super easy.
This is what the panel looks like when you purchase it, and all of the pieces are in here, and the directions are on the panel, but I'm going to make it real simple for you, okay? I had already cut everything out because of TV magic. And I have it here. So the directions tell you to cut all of your pieces right on the edge. Don't add in your seam allowance. The seam allowance is included in the print, okay? And when I cut everything out, they have these little words on the fabric right next to the piece to tell you what the piece is. I went ahead and cut that out as a separate piece of fabric and pinned it on to my piece so I know what I'm working with and I don't have to worry about stitching the wrong thing in the wrong place. Even though this is so super simple, you won't be doing that. Okay, so here are all my pieces. You have the front, which has a bunch of books. Like Pat was saying earlier, it's directional, so you do have to make sure that the books are facing the right way. And then you have your pocket piece that looks like this. And the first thing that you do is you get your pocket piece and you fold it right here on the line, and you get your iron and you press that. And then you lay it right over the front piece of your pillow, and that's the front of your pillow. So here you can either baste the sides within your seam allowance, so a little bit less than a ½ inch, maybe a ¼ inch, just to keep everything together in one piece, or you can pin, whichever is easier for you, whatever you feel most comfortable with, and you set this piece aside, okay? And then we work with the envelopes. So we have the top envelope and the bottom envelope. Here is when you go back to your ironing board and you start with the top envelope, turn it around, but you're going to fold over here, you're gonna iron a ½ inch on the bottom of the top envelope. Put it on your ironing board, iron a ½ inch, and then press it again, and you're gonna stitch that ½ inch there. And your top envelope back is done. You do the same thing for the bottom envelope back, except you do it on the top. Okay? So you put it on your ironing board, press ½ inch, press ½ inch, and you're done. And then you set those aside and you bring this front piece into the equation again, because now you're going to put it together. So you start with this, and you get your top envelope, and you're going to put it right sides together onto the front of your pillowcase, and you're going to put it so that the books are in the same direction as the ones on the front of your pillowcase, okay? And then you're going to put the bottom piece on the bottom part of the front, and you're going to match up the corners. This is going to overlap a little bit, and then you're going to stitch a ½ inch all the way around, and then you can finish it however you want. I finish mine with a serger. You can use a zigzag stitch, and then you just turn it all inside out, get your 18-inch pillow form, and you've got a beautiful pillow. And it's so easy. Like seriously, so easy.
Yeah, that was fun. That was like a sit down and do the project in one sitting, right?
It's really great because I love these projects because sometimes you just want to sew and you don't really want to think about it. This is easy. You can grab it, cut it out, make it. If you don't want to keep it, give it to someone, they'll love it.
And again, once you've made one of these, you could use those dimensions and Use whatever.
Make another one with a pocket.
Make another one. You could embroider it with a nice monogram on
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
So very cool.
Yeah. Possibilities are endless.
Well,
now I'm going to show you the fabrics in the Bookworm collection. So this one you have tossed books on a gray blue background, and then you have a little bit of words from your book page. Gotta have words in a book collection. And then you saw this already on the top, on the front of the pillowcase, but you have those books on the bookshelves. And then they say cute things like art history, trains, horses, dogs, cats, and then, where is it? It says...
It's there somewhere.
There you go. Learn to sew, learn to knit, learn to quilt. So it's sewing related, it's super cute. You need this in your life.
Yeah. Well, thank you. There's one more thing. We're actually going to bring...
the giveaway. Yeah, we're going to talk
about... Yes, we have to talk about that. I was going to say we're going to bring Kelsey back over here, or not.
We are going to talk about this giveaway that Pat curated.
I'm going to put that down.
And in order to enter, you have to comment in the description, comment below this video, hashtag I love fabric, no spaces, I love new fabric.
I love new
fabric.
Hashtag
I love new fabric,
we
no
all
spaces.
love new fabric.
And you're getting a bunch of new things, so if we could get
a close-up.
Yep.
So, let me just explain what's in here. So, these are Robert Kaufman batiks that we just got in. I love batiks, and again, actually this kind of reminds me of the color of the beautiful quilt that we have hanging behind us. So we have a beautiful assortment, 6 one-yard cuts of Robert Kaufman batiks, and then we have 2 books that are included with this for the lucky winner of this collection.
So we have 3-yard quilts on a double book.
And that's Donna Roberts' daughter.
So essentially with this group of fabrics, you can make 2 quilt tops because there's 6 yards total here.
Right.
And they all go together.
Yes. And then we also included another book for those of you who want to learn how to quilt. She actually, if you look at this book, she actually has a YouTube channel that's very informative. I know I made one of her quilts, and so lots of good stuff.
And so for this giveaway, once again, you just need to comment, hashtag I love new fabric, no spaces, and we are announcing the winner January 3rd at 9 a.m.
So it's
so exciting.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks for watching.
We're going to bring Kelsey back on here.
We're going to bring Kelsey, yes, because this is our last video of the year, right, Kelsey?
New fabric video 100, and as you guys know, Kelsey is always the one doing them.
But I couldn't do it without you, my camera woman, and idea sharer, and co-sewist, and my mother, who I share all the ideas with. So
it's a group effort.
It's a group effort for sure.
Yeah. It's a team effort. The whole store is a team effort.
Yeah.
So thank you both.
Thank you for watching us. We can't wait for next year and to see what we do for next year and to keep inspiring you to sew. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.